Hello, I'm Monster Gamer, and welcome back to Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward. I'm back for more. So, let's get into this. No sooner had we stepped out of the garden than I saw the three people I watched leave through the green door sometime earlier. Whoa. What are you guys doing here?
We ought to be asking you the same thing. How'd you get here?
Sigma, hand me the map.
Map? Alright. I dug the map out of my pocket and spread it out in front of us.
You three came in through the blue door, right?
Yeah.
And which room did you go into?
Fan-shaped one this fan-shaped one, it's called the B room.
Bee garden?
Is the big dome with a bunch of plants in it. Look, you can see it yourself later, alright?
What about you guys?
Well, after we went through the green door, we ended up in the treatment center.
And then we met up right there. Right here.
So, what's the treatment center? It sounds a lot like the infirmary.
You want to have a look? We can go back to any of the rooms we've already visited.
Oh yeah, it's a complicated room that I got stuck with and had to have help. Because reasons. Sure, let's have a look. After a few moments of brisk walking, we found ourselves in the treatment center. Well, at least the AB games didn't start this time, because Dio's here. And reasons of... Man, I remember this puzzle. It was terrifying, and I hated it. What are those?
They're why this is called a treatment center. Those pods can cure a number of illnesses and even repair certain injuries.
Perfect. Whoa, that's
How about you
nice.
climb in one of them, Dio?
Why?
Well, maybe it can fix whatever's wrong with your brain.
Haha.
Hey,
Nice.
you want to start something, lady?
Calm down now, son. You don't cool off a bit, and I'll have to throw you in one of these pods here.
Oh yeah, and I'll have to teach you a lesson.
Huh? Why?
Weren't you paying attention? They have a cold sleep function. I figured that ought to cool your head up.
Wait, did you say cold sleep? That's where they freeze you, right? And you can stay like that way for a really long time.
According to some records we found in here, until about 8 hours ago, there were 3 frozen people in these pods.
3 people? Who?
You mean 3 of us were? We don't know. All we found was what was in the logs for the pods.
How long were they here?
No idea. Part of the logs were erased. All that's left is when the cold sleep function turned off. It records them thawing out, getting up. That's it.
Then they could be anyone.
Well, anyone but you.
What? Why not Alice?
Because you don't need a device like this to freeze Alice. Am I wrong?
Huh? What are you talking about?
You don't need to play dumb. The water in your body isn't normal water. It's something called Ice 9. It freezes at 96.8 degrees. That means all you have to do to put yourself in cold sleep is drop your body temperature below 96.8. No fancy machine needed.
Where on earth did you hear that?
From Clover.
Clover?
When we were exploring the lounge during the first round.
I see.
What's so funny?
Oh man, you fell for that one hook, line, and sinker, didn't you? Clover was messing with you.
Sure, she...
That is, if she even said anything to you at all. It was a lie. A joke?
A joke? No, there's no way it was a joke. I'm sure about it. Your body is made of Ice 9.
Well, you're mistaken. It's a ridiculous misunderstanding. An urban legend.
An urban legend. With seemingly no prompting, Alice launched into a lengthy explanation. It was something like this. At some point in the past, someone found a frozen, mummified Egyptian queen. What was curious about this mummy, however, was that it remained frozen at room temperature. People began to refer to her as all ice, which eventually became simply Alice. Rumors that her body was made of Ice 9 began to circulate, and her brazier refusal to thaw only compounded them.
They say that the mummy finally thawed, and when it did, it began to move. And ever since then, I've had people say they thought I was her. I mean, really, how could anyone believe something so ridiculous?
I could.
The existence of this mysterious Alice and of this ice that doesn't melt are just urban legends.
But why would people make that mistake about you in particular?
It can't just be because your name's Alice. There are tons of Alices.
Is it because of your face and how you look?
Well, it is true that I am both beautiful and elegant. Can I really be blamed if people think I'm an Egyptian queen? I don't think that's the only reason, though. Someone who made that mistake said something to me once. They claimed they'd seen me before. Of course, I immediately pressed the issue. Do you mean the mummy, Alice? I said. When? Where? Of course, they were at a loss. In fact, I began to feel a little sorry for them. So I told them something. If you're so convinced, then maybe I am actually Alice. But maybe I've lost my memory and can't remember who I am. And so on and so on.
So you trick people.
I'm still not sure why Clover would tell you something like that, though. Even if she was just messing with you, it seems a little out of left field.
You really think she put that much thought into it? She was probably just screwing with him, and it was the first thing that came to mind. Maybe she wanted to see if she could get him to believe something completely
Maybe,
ridiculous.
but isn't that the same thing she said to us about Alice being thought of as when we were doing the Alice ending? Well, not the Alice ending, the Clover ending.
Yeah, I could see her doing something like that. Well, I think that's enough idle gossip for now. The cold sleep business is interesting, but I don't think it's terrible. We should go see if the other team has returned to the warehouse yet.
At Alice's request, we made our way out of the tree. Perfectly in line. Ding, 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 ding. Hey, it's this room again. This is...
It looks like another warehouse.
It looks like the same warehouse.
Hey, look!
3 more doors.
They're all glowing white. You think?
Yeah. Chromatic doors are white. This must be the next set of chromatic doors.
I'd bet on it. Look, they've got the same boxes next to them as the other doors.
So the next set of doors are white?
They haven't all been the same color before.
We definitely need to tell the others about this.
Let's head back to floor A. Ding, 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 ding. Another ding. Dings galore. Going around town. Right through the purple door. Perfect.
Oh, thank goodness.
Hey, we made
You
it.
finally returned. I was beginning to get anxious.
Did something
Yes,
happen?
it's Quark, you see.
What? What happened to Quark?
He collapsed. It happened so suddenly.
Oh, yay.
What?
So, I'm gonna pause this video because I've seen all this. I'll come back to you when everything looks new. Well, I just came back and it's just a little different. A little something like Vi telling me that all she found was the treatment pod thing. Treatment pod. That's it. You have to put Quark in one of those pods. Quickly! For a moment, there was silence.
Quark?
Quark! Oh, thank You're
no.
awake!
Get away!
Skipping!
Have to what are you talking?
Isn't it?
But
Like,
Sorry about all the clicking. All the clicking in the world.
Right.
On it.
Me too.
stop! Let go!
oh, right.
Damn yes! Why won't you? I have to. They can't. Please. You have
Shut
to let
up.
me. I'm trapped. Let me.
Shut
I have. Kill me. Any. Kill me. Kill. Ah!
Da, 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 da.
Luna,
Yes?
are there any tranquilizers?
No. Well,
What?
there's so.
Soparil?
That's the Ennis, the one that's in our brain.
Good. Hit him with.
What?
He'll be fine. It's just an. It won't hurt.
But
Just hurry up. Come on, Luna.
Okay, let me just.
A lot of clicking here. Too much clicking.
Okay, I've.
Good. Wait. Now. Do.
Right.
No. Stop. Stop.
Perfect. Just perfect.
Respiration, blood. According to these readings, he's in a very deep sleep.
Alright. I guess we're good
Yes.
for now.
What about the anesthetic? How long will it
He
last?
shouldn't wake up for a few.
Man, he sure was strong for such a little guy.
I'm gonna pause this for a sec. I'm cold as hell up in here, so I'm gonna, just put on a sweater. I'll be back. And I'm back with a sweater. All the good things a sweater.
I think that might be. It probably attacks.
Yeah? How do you know?
Huh? Oh, well.
How much do you know about this?
Oh, not much.
Not much, she says.
All I've seen. Why would I lie about? I've seen other viruses. So when Quark tried to kill. Yes, at least I.
So what kind of virus is Radical 6? The kind of killing yourself
What are you
virus.
doing?
I turned and followed Temioji's gaze. Gaze? There stood Alice. Oh, yay. Alice, here, you feeling
We're all
okay?
going to die.
Huh?
We're all only You don't understand. All of the virus, adults, children, everyone. There won't. I.
Wait, Alice. You're going to the same place again, aren't you? Shainer's door. Took off after her. Between us. Shit, which way did she go? Maybe to the crew quarters.
You lost her.
Yeah. I
Well,
don't
let's
know
split up and look quickly. She can't.
Right.
Look, just do your best not to. Understood? 10 Myoji.
Gotcha.
The rest of us can look for Alice. Sound good?
yeah. I stay here. Got it.
All right, let's move, people.
Perfect, because he is here. Quark, that devil
Get going.
bastard. through. Where should I look? Oh, skipping all this. Is it going to help anything? And go somewhere else. I know where she is, but the game won't let me go there. Sorry, that was my bad. Going through everything. Going to the treatment center, see if she's there. She's not going to be there, is she? Just gotta put it on auto and just, you know, shoot nothing in the treatment center either. You need to find her quick or she's gotta do something bad. Yada yada yada. If we hadn't stopped before. I need to hurry. Head to the garden next. And this time, I actually know where the garden is. The bee garden. Me frantically clicking. Oh. Shit.
Here you are. Good. I'm glad you showed up. I just got here a minute ago. She was like this when I found her. When you showed up, I was getting ready to carry her to the infirmary.
And she's,
Yeah. Her breathing and pulse seem normal. She doesn't appear to have any obvious external wounds.
So she's just
Looks like it.
What about the
Doesn't
scalpel?
look like she has it. Figure she probably dropped it on the way here. Anyway, we need to get her to the infirmary. Give me a hand here.
Right. Rightio. Oh, this was getting lighter than I expected, and fine, I managed to set off toward the infirmary at a brisk trot. The briskest trot of them all. I don't know. I'm just weird.
All right, please pay attention, everyone. You need to hear this. The Atom has finished
What did it say?
Her results
She has the
are
radical
identical. She has
9.
also been infected with
Yep. Called it! Sorry if I'm too close. Treatment purities. Participants have been sensitized with widen as the response.
Oh no. What's going to happen? Well, there's a special. Do you know what
Immunogoblin?
It's another name for antibodies.
Yeah,
Some people have antibodies. Those antibodies are the basis for
Immunogoblin, that's what it's called. Wait, those pods? What about those pods in the treatment center? Can't we just stick them in
Right.
those?
I thought of that too. So I went and took a closer look at. Unfortunately,
They can't
Correct.
cure it.
they can suppress the symptoms for a while.
Perfect.
But they can't kill the virus itself. The only way we can help Alice and Quark is if we can find some Excelavir.
But the pods will keep them from
Excelavir.
getting any worse, right?
Yes.
Well, then what are we waiting for? One of you, grab Alice. We're going to the treatment center.
Perfect. So we're moving from the infirmary to the treatment center. As he spoke, Temioji moved over to Quark and lifted his small unconscious body off the bed. Off the bed! Quark shifted slightly as Temioji moved him in. Something fell out of his pocket with a soft clink. I bent down slowly and I picked it up. Is this medicine?
What?
Wait, what? Quark had the Axelavir?
Well, what is it?
Hold on, there's a name on the label here.
Axelavir! You found it, Sigma!
Really? It was in Quark's pocket?
That's the one thing that can cure Radical 6.
Why did Quark have it?
Yeah.
Perhaps he found it earlier. We explored
Earlier,
the
when?
laboratory. It was on the other side of the red door. I happened to notice Quark putting something in his pocket. Whether or not that was his intention is unclear. I did not have the opportunity to ask, as he collapsed immediately afterwards. It didn't feel appropriate to go digging around in his pockets for it after that. To be honest, it had also slipped my mind. We were rather preoccupied with getting him to the infirmary as quickly as possible.
Who cares about the details? We have it. Hurry up and give it to him, Luna.
Hey, hold on a minute. What about Alice?
Does it really matter if she goes first or not?
I'm sorry, but I don't think we can do that.
What?
There's only enough here for one person.
Oh.
The only way we have to administer this is with the injection gun. And the way it functions, it uses a whole bottle each time you pull the trigger.
In other words, we can't split the dose in two or something.
Right.
Well, we stood stunned 5 moves, stepping over to Quark, and she quickly ran her hands through his clothes and stepped back with a frown and a small shake of her head.
Nothing. That one bottle was it.
Do you think there might be some more back in the laboratory?
No, unfortunately not.
No.
Oh, God.
Just enough medicine for one dose.
I think I know who to choose. Quark!
Only one person can be saved.
Who should we give it to?
Alice or Quark?
I say Quark. What the hell is this? There's no way we're only going to save one of
Then
them.
what are we going to do?
Do I have to spell it out? We are going to save them both.
How?
That's, I need to calm down. Think. There had to be some way to save both of them. It was there. I knew it.
Do you know what immunoglobulin is?
Immunoglobulin.
It's another name for antibodies. Some people have antibodies that can fight off Radical 6.
IG replicator.
Replicator makes it sound like it makes copies of stuff.
It can make the copy of the Axelavir. So it's like a copying machine.
Yeah, probably copies IG, whatever that is.
That is the thing we need. Oh my god. Any
Who
ideas?
knows? Ice cream by the gallon?
Oh my god. I know what to do. That's it. I've got it. The IG replicator in the laboratory. It's an immunoglobulin replication machine.
What?
If I told you you had a nice antibody, it can copy immunoglobulin antibodies. Luna just said Axelavir is made from antibodies. That means we can make more Axelavir.
Hold on a moment. There is a strange device in the laboratory that says IG replicator on it. Clover and I examined it thoroughly when we were in that room.
Yeah, we never could figure out what it did though.
Exactly. My question is, how do you know about it, Sigma?
I saw it when I was in the laboratory.
When was that?
Probably when you were looking for Alice, right?
No, deal was wrong. I hadn't gone to the laboratory when I was looking for Alice. I didn't think I'd ever been to the laboratory, so how did I know about the IG replicator?
If what he's saying is true, then we should be able to duplicate the Axelavir. That would mean we could cure Alice and Quark.
And cure them
Let's
both.
go have a look then. The laboratory, right?
And save them both.
Yeah, no time to waste.
We all not. Wait. We can't leave them here all alone. Luna, do you think you could stay behind and look after them?
Oh, of course. I'd be happy to.
Alright. Then let's go! We can save them both! We can save them both! Because we have the IG replicator. Because IG means immunoglobulin. What? What is with this game and that word, immunoglobulin? It's a weird word, isn't it? Immunoglobulin. It's a tongue twister, isn't it? So I'm just gonna make this video and be done for the day because I have to get food in my body. So, yeah, that's just perfect. Haha. 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 There it is.
So this is the lab, huh?
Yes.
Where's this IG replica?
Here it is, right here. See?
So this can copy the Accelavir?
I think so.
What are we waiting for?
Calm down, alright? Don't rush me. I carefully lower the small valve of Accelavir into the slot on the side of the machine. An empty vial already poured from the other side. Presumably that's where the duplicated Accelavir would go. Ready? When I push this button, it should...
Skip it. Just press the damn thing.
Right. And pressed. Perfect. Did it work?
Have a look. The empty vial has something in it now.
And the vial Sigma used remains as it was. It does not seem to have lost any of its contents.
So, it worked?
Would have been pretty bad if it hadn't.
Alright. Let's get this thing back to the infirmary. I reached down and pulled both vials from the machine, intending to slip them deftly into my pocket.
What happened?
Ah, shit. Sorry. My hands.
You dropped one of them?
Yeah, just one.
What in the hell? What if you'd broken it, you idiot?
Come on. If it broken, then we could just made another copy. Before Temioji could reply if I spoke.
Guys?
I was surprised to hear her voice coming from near my feet. I looked down to see her staring intently at something beneath the table.
You see? It did break!
No, the vial's fine. See?
She held it up in one hand but didn't move her eyes.
Then what the heck is going on down there?
Take a look.
There's a bomb! She slid back from the table and quickly silently the rest of it down. Yeah, it's number 2 bomb! A bomb.
Whoa, that makes 2 then.
Guess Kay was right after all.
So there were more bombs.
So it would seem.
Was this here when you guys came through the first time?
No, it was not.
Yeah, I didn't see anything, and I looked real hard.
Then somebody must have said it while we were looking for Alice.
Who the hell would do that?
We were all out looking for Alice. It could have been any of us.
No, not any of us. I was back in the infirmary. Quark was still out, so I was keeping an eye on him.
So we shouldn't consider you a suspect, is that right?
Yeah, Quark's off the list too.
But Tenmyoji,
Obviously.
you have no proof that you spent the entire time in the infirmary, do you?
What?
You could have quietly made your way to the laboratory, planted the bomb.
That's insane!
That is insane.
Listen to yourself! There's no way in hell I'd have left Quark all by himself to go plant a goddamn bomb!
I don't think he would either. Temioji was still staring furiously at Kay when Clover spoke up.
Hey, what's this thing?
Turned in time to see her grab something underneath the table.
It looks like a memory card.
Oh, is that for the book area? What is it called? Wait, We don't have that this time. We don't have the archives.
Where was it?
Right under the bomb. It was down on the floor under the table.
Could it have been put here by the same person who set the bomb? There was nothing like it here when we examined this room.
Do you think they dropped it?
Unless it was left here intentionally, yes. I imagine so.
What do you think's on it?
Let's take a look. Could I see it for
Yeah, I guess so.
Picked up the card out of her hand and looked around. Nothing. Shoot, no dice. I need to plug into something that can read memory cards, but I don't see anything.
So what do we
here.
do?
Come on, if I knew, I'd be doing it.
10 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Yep.
All players, if no...
Guys, I think maybe we should get back to the top floor.
Did someone open the
Yeah,
Ambidex
you're right.
game?
We've got what we came here for.
What should we do about the...
Not much we can do except leave it here. Alice said it'd be dangerous to touch them.
True, but
Drop it. We can talk about the bombs later. Right now, we need to take care of Alice and...
Right. So we'll go back to the infirmary, give them the Laxavir, and head to floor A.
Right.
And they should be fine.
This ought to do it. It might take a little while, but they should be...
Yay, her voice was quiet and she backed away from Allison Quirk. In her hand was the injection gun. She carefully removed the empty vial and placed it gently in the cabinet with the other one. While we were in the laboratory, Luna had moved Quirk to a crude cot. They both looked peaceful as they slept. The madness I seen on their faces was completely gone.
Are they really going to be all right?
Yes, the analysis I did on the vials confirmed that the duplicate was real Excelavir. The original was genuine too, of course. Now that they've been treated...
it's only a matter of time before the virus is eliminated.
I believe so, yes. Oh man, what a relief.
The biggest
I was really
relief of all
worried.
time. Clover grinned. Agreed. I gave her a reassuring pat on the back. Pat on the
5 minutes remain.
All right, everybody. We can be
Lego.
relieved later. Right now, we need to get to the AB rooms and fast.
Damn.
Is there anything else for the other ones? No, there's nothing. Not a single thing.
Don't even have time to catch our breath.
Come on, let's go. Floor A warehouse is waiting to be opened. Well, to be Ambidex gamed. So, should I betray? I mean, we have a huge advantage over Alice, but you know what? I'm choosing Ally, even though we have an advantage. Huh? Where's Temioji?
Oh, he stayed back in the infirmary.
What?
Why?
Well, when we were all heading out, I noticed he wasn't doing anything. So I asked him if he was coming with us, and this is what I got.
I'm still worried about Quark and Alice. I think I'll stick around and make sure they're okay.
I see. That means that Phi's only opponent will be Dio.
One-on-one, huh?
Ugh.
That's cool. Nothing to worry about. I plan to choose Ally. You know why?
Because I've only got one BP.
Exactly. If you chose Ally and I betrayed you, your BP would drop below 0 and... well, we know what happens then. I want to win, but I'm not that desperate. You see what I'm saying, right?
Tenmyoji and Dio are a pair. Tenmyoji only had one since Dio said he's going to pick an ally. Phi can't really pick anything else. If she does, Tenmyoji will...
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep.
Kay and I are going to be going one-on-one too, right? Since Quark's still sleeping.
That is correct.
How many BP do you guys have?
I've got 6.
As do I.
This will be a tough one then.
If one of them can get the other to ally and then betray that person, the betrayer will have... Look, Kay, I know you don't really have any reason to trust me, but...
I know. You would like us both to vote ally, yes?
Yeah.
I agree. If we were to both betray, then we would gain no points. We would lose nothing either, but that's hardly relevant. If both of us cooperate, then we will both gain 2 points, which is much more beneficial.
Right.
Of course.
Okay, good. You're really gonna do it, right?
Yes,
Promise?
promise.
1 minute remains until Ambidex game polling closes.
Shit, this is bad. We need to move now.
Indeed. Shall we?
Perfect. The perfect time for this because I'm up against someone who's already in the infirmary, heading into different AB rooms. Counting from the left, Dio went to room 3, Kay went to room 4, and Vi and Clover into rooms 5 and 6, respectively. That left Luna and myself. What do you think taking the one on the far
Sounds
left?
good.
With that settled, we headed into the AB room number 1. And now we are definitely going to be able to ally with Alice and just gain some points. We have
30
to
seconds remain.
It's probably a little late to say this, but you know Alice is still in the infirmary, so...
You're saying we should pick ally, right? Since Alice is going to default to it
Yes.
anyway? I know. It's not really fair to betray someone who isn't voting. And his face broke into warm smile. Not to be sappy, but it's like a ray of sunshine on a cloudy day. I grinned back at her before I knew what I was doing. For a minute, the nonary game didn't seem so scary.
10 seconds. 9, 8, 7,
Come on,
6, 5,
announcer,
4,
go faster!
2, 1.
Ally. What else is there to do? I mean, come on. What do you think I'm going to
Round
do?
2
Betray
of
her?
the Ambidex
after
game
the
has
last
been.
time?
Results will be displayed. Thank you, Ambidex game.
I mean, it would be a good way to get back at her, but I don't think she really deserves it. Luna and I stepped out of the AB room. Alright, let's go have a look at the
Okay.
results. Hope that no one betrayed anyone's
Results,
trust.
please direct.
This is moralizing. Oh my. Oh my. Wow. What? Alice? Wait. How in the hell is Alice here?
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet
What
to see
happened?
your updated bracelet.
What happened? What? It wasn't possible. I blinked, rubbed my eyes, and looked again. No. That's not possible. How can Alice vote be betrayed? It was a question I would never know the answer to. There was a sharp, quick pain in my wrist, barely even noticeable. I couldn't feel any flowing into my veins, but I knew it was there. First would be the anesthetics overall. I blinked and my vision started to blur. When I tried to think, I felt stuff. My legs began to wobble.
Sigma! Sigma! Hang on! Oh no! Sigma! Get up!
Sigma!
Sigma!
No. Why?
My eyelids felt like they were made of lead, but I forced them open. Everything was growing blurry, but I noticed that the door of the second AB room was open. No one had gone in to that room. I'd watched them all, and yet there she stood in a apparition that couldn't possibly be real. Alice. The world was gradually growing black. My mouth refused to form words, but my head echoed with the question: how? Why? What was she doing there? Had she run in at the last moment after Luna and I entered our room? But even if she had, why choose betray? Then the darkness closed over my mind, and my questions were gone forever. That's what I get for allying with someone who keeps betraying me. Thanks a lot, Alice. And now I'm gonna choose betray because somehow Alice is there. For some reason. Because of reasons. There we are.
30 seconds.
You know, Al, so...
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm not choosing ally. I went for that once. Not
10,
going for it
9,
again.
8, 7,
Not
6,
falling for it.
5, 4,
Not falling for it.
3, 2, 1.
Betray. Because she's there. For some reason. I don't know how.
Round 2.
I don't know why.
Results. Thank you. Ambidex.
I don't care what Luna says. I don't care. Because Alice is there. And I stepped out the AB room.
Why? What happened to... It's not fair to betray someone who isn't voting. I thought...
There was nothing I could say think of to say. Even I didn't really understand why I picked betray instead. It almost felt unconscious, like some other part of my mind was making the decision. Perhaps I'd been possessed by some sort of evil spirit that had moved the finger to betray button against my will. Nope, I'm not evil. I'm trying to save your life. Right. Well, we should go see the
Really?
results.
We already know what they are. It's just simple.
No, it's not simple math. Her eyes were even more painful than any punch I'd ever taken. I turned away and almost ran towards the projector. Oh, skip the little thing. You could read that.
Results from please direct.
It's only because she's there for some reason. Watch. Betray, 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 betray. So much betrayal. Yes! I knew it! 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 Ha ha! Ha ha! Ha ha!
Points have been assigned.
Ha!
Or please check your brain.
Fuck you, Alice. What? It wasn't possible. I blinked and rubbed my eyes and looked again. No. How could Alice vote be betray? That's not possible. Alice? She was standing inside the second room from the left. The room should have been empty. Why? My mind was still reeling. Where had she come from? As I was trying to form a sentence, she began to move toward us. From around me, I heard a chorus of mute gasps. It seemed we were united in our confusion. Alice drew to stop in front of me and glance up in display.
Thought you'd get an easy couple points, huh? Not so easy when you have to look your victim in the eye, is it? Coward.
Me, a coward? You got some balls saying that to me after you picked betray. Why are you even
You
here?
gave me the antivirus, didn't you? Tenmyoji told me. Thank you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, honestly.
But you should still be under the effects of the anesthetic.
Yes, well, I still am. A bit. I have a throbbing headache, and I can barely stand. It's horrible. I'm more resistant to anesthetics than most people, a result of my training. I have a feeling Zero Senior knew that. They gave me way more than the standard dose of that gas when they kidnapped me. In any event, a few minutes ago I woke up in the infirmary. Tenmyoji explained what was going on, and I got here as fast as I could.
So you showed up right after we'd gone into AB.
Yes, right in the nick of time, too. About 10 seconds before the deadline, as I recall.
You did that just so you could betray us?
Right. What? Don't I get to do that? I mean, it turned out to be the right thing to do, didn't it? You two chose betray. If I'd stayed back there, I'd have lost 2 points.
So you're saying it was self-defense?
Yes.
You're full of shit. Self-defense, my ass. You chose betray because you wanted out. You had 6 BP. If I picked ally, you would have had 9. That's what you were trying to do,
So what
right?
if I was?
Are you serious? You would have killed me. Look, I only have 1 BP. You were this close to murdering me. Just admit it. You were planning to kill me so you could escape.
Don't be stupid. I knew you'd choose betray. There was...
Tell me the truth!
That is the truth. Why am I the only one getting the 3rd degree here? Look at those results. 2 other people just tried to kill someone.
Fine, Dio.
Yes. If Dio had chosen ally, Phi would have killed Tenmyoji. And if she'd chosen ally, Dio would have killed her.
I don't want to be rude, but it looks like Clover and Kay tried to trick one another. Not that it seems to have worked. If either one had chosen ally, the other one would have 9 BP right now.
I turned to look at the results again. Before, I'd only been looking at my own. I hadn't realized that there was only one word all across the roster: betray. Whatever trust we'd managed to build had fallen apart. Everyone was suspicious of everyone else. Had it been the bombs? Or had it been something else? I know Dio's the one to always betray. Whatever the reason, if it kept up, we'd never manage to escape. We'd be trapped in a cycle of 0 point round for the rest of our lives. Something had to be done. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. Alright, guys, pay attention. You probably already all figured this out, but we can't keep going like this. If we don't start being a little more trusting, we're never going to get out of here. We need to work together. I might as well have been talking to a wall.
My apologies, Sigma, but I need to think on something for a bit. I would appreciate being left alone.
Okay.
I'll be leaving too. Things are getting a little too intense here for my delicate constitution.
Sure, delicate ass.
Sorry.
Dio.
Well, in that case...
Etufai?
Yeah, sorry.
Without another word, she turned and left the warehouse. Dio and Cork quickly follow suit.
See? There's your answer. In the end, everyone's just thinking about themselves. So I would appreciate it if you could not treat me like I'm the only villain here. Come on, Clover. Let's go.
Hold on! I'm coming! Are you feeling okay? I was really worried, you know?
I watched them walk away, Clover practically jumping with delight to have Alice back. Before long, they reached the yellow door and disappeared beyond.
Everyone's gone.
You aren't going to leave me. You aren't going to leave too.
No.
Are you sure I chose
I know.
betray.
But I still believe in you, Sigma. I think your hand must have just slipped or something, right?
My chest hurt, and when I blinked, I felt something hot and wet prick the corner of my ears. Luna, I bit my lip. Before I could think of anything to say, the metallic rumble of the doors closing echoed through the warehouse. Were you about to say I love you? Huh.
The ambidex gates have closed. Round 3 of the star keys are. There is no set limit. The ambidex gates.
As many times as we want, huh? Yeah, we're gonna be here a long while.
Yes, as long as we have the star keys. That means we can keep playing the AB game over and over. Sigma? Could you show me your bracelet? Do you remember what Zero Jr. said?
Pair. Yeah, I remember. Let's see here. I'm a cyan pair. What about you?
I'm a magenta pair.
Wonder what the other.
They could be anything, I suppose. We won't know until we have a look.
We've got about 80 minutes until the next chromatic doors open. So what should we do?
Everyone else has gone off on their own.
Yeah, physically and emotionally. I really don't like how this is going. It won't matter how many times we repeat the AB game if nobody trusts anybody else. We'll never be able to get out of here.
Maybe it would help if we all had a common goal. Something to unite our hearts and minds.
Yeah, but we've already got something like that. We all want to get out of here. That seems like a pretty clear goal to me, but everybody chose betray, including me.
Well, what if we have an enemy?
An enemy?
Yes, a common foe, like the person who set the bombs, for instance.
After coming back from the lab, I told her about the bomb while she gave Allison back. Yeah, that might work. If we could figure out which one of us planted those bombs, then everyone else would work together against them. But how do we figure out who it is?
Do you have any clues?
Clues? That's right, the memory card. I pulled it out of my pocket and held it toward her.
What's this?
I told you, a memory card. It was under the bomb we found in the lab. I think whoever set the bomb dropped it. Yeah. I don't know what's on it, though. We couldn't find any kind of memory card reader.
Oh, I guess we can't really use it then. Oh, wait a second. You know what? I think I might have seen something. Yes, I remember. The infirmary. I saw it when I was searching the infirmary with Dio, and there was a memory card just like... Yes,
Then...
I think we can see what's on it. The computer there should be...
Yes! We're finally getting somewhere. And I exploded into the infirmary, nearly running into Alice, Clover, and Tomioji. Quark was there as well, of course, but he was just as we left him asleep on the bed.
What are you doing here?
I opened my mouth to retort, then thought better of it. If I really wanted people to start trusting each other, well, really change. If I really want people to start trusting each other, well, really change starts at home. As quickly as I could, I explained the second bomb and the memory card, and how we'd come to the infirmary in hopes that we discovered the contents of the thing.
Okay.
Then stick it in already!
Go ahead.
Right. Just as Luna had said, there had been some a small slot under the screen, exactly the right size, fit a memory card. Within moments, the screen was filled with what appeared to be random numbers. What is this?
6 rows, 22 letters each.
Wait, is this the thing for the bomb? I don't know if this is for the bomb or not. Man, it's been a long time since I've played this game. Alright, so if I look at my picture, it says BQZ. Okay. RGJ and DXR. So that this is basically part of
It looks like the odd rows use one
The
set of letters,
number
and the
one.
even rows use another set. In other words, the first 2 rows just repeat. Yeah.
Is that some kind of code or something?
It doesn't look random to me. I think there might be a pattern. I just don't know what it is.
Was there anything else on there? No, it doesn't look like it.
So all we get is this gibberish. Hey, Us, you haven't said anything for a while. What's up?
Does any of this look familiar to you, Clover?
What do you mean?
Have you seen something like this before? Maybe during your training?
Training?
This is...
So you do recognize it.
All right, knock it off, you two. How about you share it with the rest of the class?
Alice sighed and stretched her neck from side to side.
I believe this is an encoded message from a terrorist organization.
What?
They call themselves the Myrmidons.
What are the Myrmidons?
Put simply, they're a bunch of thugs who are trying to destroy or dismantle most of human civilization.
So this thing we're looking at, you think it's theirs?
Well, they have a number of different codes, but I do think this is one of them.
Then the bomb? It was set by one of the Myrmidons, wasn't it?
Yes. Well, I can't say for sure, of course, but it seems likely.
Damn. I've got a ton of questions for you, but let me start with this one. What the heck does this thing say?
I don't know.
What?
How am I supposed to decode it? I don't have the key. Without a key, it would take literally hundreds of years to decode.
What about you, Clover?
Well, if Alice doesn't know how, I sure don't.
See.
Not much we can do then. We can come back to the code stuff later. I got another question. Alice, Clover, who the hell are you? Why do you know about this?
That's...
You told me your job was to eliminate enemies of the state or something like that. Just what the hell kind of job is that? I think it's time you told us what you do.
Sorry, but I can't.
Why not?
Because you might be one of them. You might be the person who set the bomb.
That's idiotic. Of course I'm not.
Really? And where's your proof? For all I know, you're my enemy. I can't tell you anything.
I'm not your enemy. I'm your ally. I'm your friend. I just want to get out of here. Just please tell us. Please. We need to find out who did this so we can all escape. But we have too little information. We need your help. Fine. If you won't tell us about yourself, then just tell us about the Myrmidons. What else do you know about them?
I'm sorry.
Before I could blink, she leapt up and ran out of the room. Hey, wait, Alice. I took off after her.
How long are you going to keep following me?
Until you tell me what you know.
Then why don't you just ask Clover?
Clover?
You already know she works with me.
Well, yeah.
Then why don't you...
I want to hear it from you.
Why?
That's a good question. Remember the crew quarters or this garden? We got paired up for 2 separate rounds. That means I've spent more time with you than anybody else here. Maybe that's it. I guess I'm just curious about you.
What are you talking about?
She spun around to hide it, but I caught a blush of red on her cheeks. We walked down the path to where it ended up next to the pond. I stayed silent. Alice sat down on the bench. We gazed at the smooth surface of the pond several long minutes before she began to speak.
You don't hate me?
What? Why?
I tried to kill you.
You mean in the AV game?
Yes. I was so scared. Who wouldn't be? Kidnapped and locked up, forced to play some sort of bizarre game. And then we found that bomb. I know I probably sounded calm, but as soon as we found that thing, all I wanted to do was run away from it as fast as I could. Things just went downhill from there.
What do you mean?
I remember hearing that Quark had collapsed and running to the infirmary with everyone else. When I got there, I realized I couldn't understand what anyone was saying, and everything looked... I don't know how to describe it. It was like watching a video on fast forward, only it was real. Then I started to feel like... It's hard to explain. I guess you could say I didn't feel like I was myself, and it only got worse.
That was probably the radical
Yes,
sense.
I think so. I don't remember much after that, but when I woke up in the infirmary, suddenly all that fear was back. So all I could think about was getting out of this place as fast as I could. It never even crossed my mind that it could kill you. God help me, even if it had, I don't think I would have cared. See? I'm horrible. You hate me, don't you? Just do it!
What? Do what?
Kill me! Get it over with!
What the hell, Alice? I'm not going to kill you. I don't even hate you.
You're lying! I could have killed you. I would have killed you.
Come on, calm down. No one's killing anyone. A single tear rolled down Alice's cheek, then another, and another, leaving shiny lines across her face. When I reached out, I saw her tense just slightly. Slowly, I brushed my thumb across her cheek and off, taking her tears with it.
Why are you doing this? You know, you kind of remind me of my father.
That's who you were after. That's who you were after, right? The people who killed
Yes.
your dad? Do they have anything to do with the Myrmidons?
Will you promise not to tell Clover that I cried?
Come on.
If you keep your mouth shut, I'll tell you what you want to know about myself and about the Myrmidons. Deal?
Sure. My lips are sealed.
Really?
What? Crying? I don't remember any crying.
Good. All right then.
Alice took a deep breath and began. Do I have to read this? I'm gonna hate this. Okay. My father is an Egyptian, but my mother is French. They met while my mother was in Egypt on vacation and married shortly thereafter. When I was 3, we all moved to the US. My father was a scientist and his field was cloning. He was recruited by an American lab, which was why we moved. Both of my parents had used English around me from the time I was born, so I didn't have any problems adapting to life in the United States. By my 9th birthday, we'd been there for 6 years. That was when it happened. In the middle of the day, my mother showed up at school. Her eyes were red and puffy. She didn't say anything to me on the drive home. When we arrived, there were several policemen there to meet us. My father had already been a very punctual man, and when dinner time came and went with no sign of him, even I began to realize something terrible had happened. It wasn't until several years later that I finally learned that truth. My father's lab had been attacked by terrorists, and he had been kidnapped. For the rest of my childhood, my mother raised me by herself. I didn't realize it then, but it must have been incredibly difficult for her, as a single mother alone in the country. In a country where any relatives were transatlantic flight away. She did her best not to let me see it, but every so often, when she thought she was alone, the mask would fall away. In every line of her face, I could see exhaustion and loneliness. As much as I missed my father, it was those moments that made me wish more than anything. Than anything that he'd never been taken away. Fortunately, I was an excellent student and did especially well in math. I earned a full ride scholarship straight out of high school and spent the next several years studying. After graduation, I took a job with the Department of Defense, hoping that they might have the resources to help me look for my father. I was immediately assigned to the Special Office of Internal Security. Their purpose is to investigate and sometimes deal with terrorist organizations and other serious threats to the state. I could tell my mother wasn't happy about my decision, but she chose to remain silent about it. Eventually, I learned that the terrorist organization that had taken my father was none other than the Myrmidons although at that time that name didn't mean anything to me. They were suspected of human cloning. Specifically, it was thought that they had been using cloning techniques to copy their most useful members and expand their ranks. Trying to get in a better position to sit because that's an awkward way to sit. The Myrmidons apparently believed they could use cloning to create a new race of humans. Now, at last, I knew the reason for my father's abduction. The commander of the Myrmidons is a man named Left. We know his name and his gender, but not his appearance or his age. The Myrmidons are closely associated with a cult known as Free the Soul. We believe that Free the Soul provides their funding, but try to pin any kind of misdeeds on the cult's leader, a man named A brother is trying to nail jello to a wall. Brother is supposed to be a fairly advanced in years, and rumor says he's so old he can't even get out of bed. Unfortunately, his mind seems to be as sharp as ever. At that point, I hit a wall. I knew Myrmidons had been behind my father's kidnapping, but that was all I could learn about them. Then one day I got a tip that some of them were hiding in a building in the Nevada desert. I headed out there immediately. On my way there, my car had some engine trouble and I stalled out. I was trying to decide what to do when an SUV appeared out of nowhere. I'll give you one guess who was behind the steering wheel. Clover. That was the first time we met. There were 4 other people in the car with her, and we asked what was just about the last answer I expect. They told me they'd been locked up inside the very building I've been on my way to investigate, and that they were currently in pursuit of people who had kidnapped them in the first place. My priorities shifted very quickly. After a short discussion, I convinced them to allow me to come along. My hope was to find the people that they were chasing, I were certain were the Myrmidons. In the end, however, we were unable to track them down. In fact, I still don't know where they might have gone. Eventually, I took Clover and her companions to SOIS headquarters. We decided that involving the police would only complicate things. After some questioning, it was determined that the people who had instigated this particular event were not connected to the Myrmidons. We did, however, discover that the mysterious disappearance and subsequent reappearance of several children 9 years prior was connected to Free the Soul. There were also a 6-person SUV, although they weren't riding in it per se. A middle-aged man, who I'll call H for now, had been bound and placed in the trunk. According to the other 4, he had been behind the disappearance of 9 children 9 years earlier. We also learned that his pharmaceutical company, a major player on the world stage, was effectively controlled by Free the Soul. More specifically, I suppose, H was a member of Free the Soul and very committed to their cause. So, why had he kidnapped all those children? Apparently it had been part of an experiment designed to test the ability of certain people to access what is called the morphogenic field. I don't imagine you've ever heard of it before, so I'll try to give you a quick rundown. And yay, we're learning about stuff in 9 doors and all that shit. Alright. Simply put, these people can access a sort of field that allows their consciences to resonate with the consciences of certain other people. To be honest, it might be simpler to say they just call it telepathy. The SOIS had heard of this particular ability before, and had actually used it in a number of investigations, so I wasn't surprised of learning its existence. I was shocked, however, to learn that these experiments had been carried out by a member of Free the Soul. If that was the case, then Brother must have known about it. The thought of him discovering a way to control and harness that power was terrifying. Wasn't too long after the incident in Nevada that another tip about the Myrmidons crossed my desk. This time I claimed that Myrmidons intend to launch their large-scale biological terrorist attack. My bosses decided that we needed more agents to deal with a threat of that magnitude, and Clover was recruited. Because she had been a test subject in H's experiment, we knew she had the ability to access the morphogenetic field, and we wanted to put that ability to use. After several months of training, she was sent on her first mission. She would be tasked to infiltration and investigation of the Myrmidon cloning lab. I was assigned to be her commanding officer. I hoped that our investigation might also give me a lead on my father's whereabouts. At last, I had a chance to find out what had happened to him. I wouldn't let that chance pass by me. Perhaps that was what kept me from noticing the truth. The whole operation was a trap. The lab was a fake, and Clover was captured almost immediately. I got there as fast as I could, but when I arrived, the building was only an empty shell. All the conspirators who had pretended to be researchers and the like had already fled. I searched frantically for Clover until at last in the basement room I found her. Sorry if I'm messing this up. She had been tied to a chair, but on the floor next to her was another body. It was my father. He looked as if he'd just been dumped there, and when I got to him, his body was already cold. He was covered in dark, ugly bruises. It wasn't until later that I learned he had died from ruptured organs and internal bleeding. They had beaten him to death. As soon as Clover had been captured, the Myrmidon in mass had come to visit her. He said that unless she wanted to end up like my father, she would leave them alone and tell her master at the SOIS to do likewise. In retrospect, they must have known who I was and who my father was. That was why they killed him. Perhaps they thought they were sending a message to me, or once he was gone, I'd lose my reason for chasing them. They were very wrong. I took Clover with me and left. I tried to console myself with the fact that I had at least been able to save her. Sometime later, I received a call from the coroner. He told me there was something I needed to see. There in the morgue was my father, cold and pale on a steel table. I could barely stand to look at him, but the coroner insisted. On his arm were 2 rows of numbers, comprised of 8s and 9s. It took me a moment to recognize my father's handwriting. He had carved them into his own skin, or his chest was another. On his chest was another message, but they were letters this time, not numbers. Not many, just enough to make a short sentence. I love you, Alice. I broke down crying right there in the morgue. There were the first tears I shed since the operation had started. There was no stopping them. There would be no forgiveness. Not for the monsters who put my father through this. They destroyed my family. I would make them pay even if I had to die to do it. That night, I made a promise to myself. I would avenge my father. It didn't take long to figure out that the numbers he'd written were longitude and latitude. They pointed to a chemical factory that had been disguised as an abandoned building. Further investigation revealed that it was the mother lode we'd been looking for, the headquarters of the Myrmidons. I think my father must have known how things would turn out. Knowing he was going to die, he written the direction to our enemy's fortress on his body. He sacrificed too much for me to waste this opportunity with recklessness. This time our operation would succeed. This time I wouldn't let my excitement put Clover or any of my other agents in danger. So we took our time, we gathered information, we did our research, and we planned. Finally, we were ready. December 25th, 2028 was going to be the day we finally set foot inside Myrmidon's stronghold. But then, on the 22nd, only 3 days before the operation was scheduled to begin, a man in a gas mask appeared. And that's how it all started. So he inhaled the gas and passed out and woke up here in
Yes.
Night.
Well, there it is. Everything that's happened with the Myrmidons and me. I left a few of the details out, of course, but you get the idea.
Yeah, thanks. She gave me a sad short of a sort of a smile and stood up.
We should go back.
Oh, perfect. Like you haven't done anything to me before. Not yet. Your story explained a lot, but there's still one big question.
Which is?
Who here's a Myrmidon? One of us planted the bombs. Based off the code, we found it's pretty clear that person is a Myrmidon, right?
Yes.
And I agreed that we need to figure out who they
What do
are.
you propose we do?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you about. Do you have any clues?
Clues? Well, if I could decrypt that code, it might tell us something, but
How can we do
I
that?
told you. We need a key. Without that, it's pointless.
What's
A key is a key.
Man, why is there so much?
It allows you to sort of unlock a code. The Myrmidons usually use this huge string of numbers as a key.
What? Wait, a long string of numbers? Could that be... another thing to unlock in the next episode. Yeah, in the next episode of Virtue's Last Reward. Yeah, but to be honest, that is all I have time for today. So, if you liked it, leave a like and comment down below. Subscribe if you want more. But until next time, this Monster Gamer saying to you all to be the best. And this Monster Gamer signing off. Peace. Oh, it's getting interesting.